Golden State Warriors fans, where you at? Dub Nation, where are you at? And welcome back, or welcome to C-Train Station. I'm C-Train, this is the station, and hey, right now, we're gonna first talk about a little game review. The Golden State Warriors just beat, or tonight, they beat the Detroit Pistons 111-93. It wasn't close. 111-93 at Chase Center in San Francisco. So first, I'm gonna give a little bit of that preseason game review, who stood out. Then we're gonna talk about an overall preseason review, right? Because now we have 4 games, 4 wins to talk about. And then just what I like overall with the squad. Maybe a couple things that I don't like. Definitely staying positive in this because the Warriors have earned it through such good vibes, solid defense, and a great preseason so far. Let's get into it. So the Warriors, of course, they won 113-93. They beat the Detroit Pistons. Who stood out? Let's talk about some players who stood out. Let's talk about the growth of some players, what they did. Let's start out with Jonathan Kuminga. Because if you look way back, years back, 3 years ago, I talk about Kuminga. So I've been talking about Kuminga ever since he got drafted. The biggest fan of Jonathan Kuminga, absolutely, and he has, but here's the caveat, right? I'm such a big fan of Jonathan Kuminga, and have started out because I saw his potential ever since, the G League Ignite versus the Santa Cruz Warriors when he was 17 years old, going at Jordan Poole. Look at that game. How about that? Research that game. I was watching it live, of course. I mean, it's C-Train and C-Train Station. But hey, if you didn't see Jonathan Kuminga's debut sort of against the Warriors, it was against the Santa Cruz Warriors when he was with the G League Ignite. And he had some really good, a little bit of a duel with Jordan Poole, for a couple plays. Anyways, so first bring up the expectations because Jonathan Kuminga his ceiling is just so high. So we started out, this is actually what happened in the game. So we start out, Tobias Harris gets the ball and he just blows by Kuminga. Jab steps one way, blows by Kuminga. Uncontested layup. That is just like, it's going to be, okay, so to me, these are the mistakes that Kuminga is going to make. These are the mental lapses and sort of discipline lapses that he has shown over his career and that he seems to be working on, right? With that said, he was blown by Tobias Harris twice. You can look at that, but just if you want the prime example, just literally look at one of the first 2 scores that Detroit had. One of them was it was horrific. And here's the thing, I'll accept it. Watch this. I don't think that Steve Kerr will accept it. One more time. I'll accept it because that's the growth. I just don't know if Coach Steve Kerr will accept those defensive lapses. Number one, because there are so many capable defenders on this Warriors squad, right? Like Melton, and a Wiggins and a GP2. That's not going to happen. Those guys, that's like for what happens to Kuminga once or twice a game. That happens like once or twice in 10 games or 20 games for a defender like GP2. So Jonathan Kuminga must be cautious and aware with those lapses because it's only 2 points that he's giving up, right? But it looks so bad that I know Coach Kerr will really not like that type of stuff. In fact, Jonathan Kuminga, the first thing that happened in the game was that he got blown by Tobias Harris, okay? Then his first shot, he shoots an air ball. And then pretty much it was nothing. It was crickets for Jonathan Kuminga for the rest of the quarter. He went out and so for like the whole first quarter, Jonathan Kuminga was sort of finding his way. But he did find his way. And here are some of the amazing positives in Jonathan Kuminga's game. Number one, his shot is much improved. I don't even know what so I believe that his shooting percentage from beyond the arc in preseason is probably closer, or it's higher than the 32% he shot last season. But greater than that, Jonathan Kuminga's three-point shot, like, it looks good. The shot looks good. In fact, I have goosebumps because his shot is actually improved. Like, and you can tell it's not, and here's how you can tell. The release seems like smoother, like, so from here to here, it's like, it's smoother. And also, it seems like there's a lot more arc on the ball, and he's like, and there's a lot more nothing but, there's like a lot more swishing. There's a lot more like nothing but net. His accuracy is there. The arc on the ball is there. Jonathan Kuminga, and now, of course, Steve Kerr, coach, has given him the green light. I'm excited to see what Jonathan Kuminga has to offer through his jump shot, because that makes the Warriors that much of a dangerous team. Now, we have to move on and even go further praising Jonathan Kuminga because of this. What I thought was, it's always, I talk about it with Lindy Waters, and I always say, like, what do you do with your power? What do you do with your powers? Jonathan Kuminga has such offensive powers. This is what I loved from Jonathan Kuminga in this game, is that he was trying to create for others, and he was finding and creating easy baskets for others. I know that he did it. I can remember he did it with Trayce Jackson-Davis, but you could tell he was making the easy pass. I think did he have a pass to Moody for a corner three? I think so. I loved it. Jonathan Kuminga is improving. Now, here's the thing. Coach Steve Kerr thinks a lot like myself. Because the Warriors have such dynamic veterans, Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, who make such few errors, okay? Listen to this. They make turnovers and whatnot, right? The Warriors do. But the Kuminga is just caught because he's literally a young human being and makes and his mistakes, in my opinion, are more glaring. And I think that Steve Kerr would agree. And this is the thing, is that maybe like 2 points is 2 points if he gives it up, right? But the fact that it looks so bad, it's going to be, I hope that Coach Kerr is compelled to play Kuminga through the rough waters, because I can see Kuminga having rough patches exactly like the first quarter today. What was the end result of this game? It didn't matter at all. He contributed to a win, and the Warriors, like, they dominated. So we have to take and look at the good and choose to look at the good, even though Kuminga makes some mistakes. And I saw it on Twitter or X or whatever. Like, yeah, a lot of you people see, yeah, he got blown by Tobias Harris, and it looked bad. Don't worry about it. It happens. It's going to happen. You have to take that in a vacuum, and you have to look at it with the perspective and with that upside caveat that Jonathan Kuminga has shown, because he does offer a really good dynamic to this team. He's a one-man fast break when he chooses to be, puts pressure on the basket, and gosh, he can create his own shot, but also he's got an improved jumper, so we like that. Lindy Waters, wow. Speaking of not even hitting rim, like, Lindy Waters definitely doesn't hit rim. And he has now, in my opinion, forced himself, not only on the squad, but I hope in the rotation. Yeah, one more time. I believe that Lindy Waters has forced himself in the rotation. And I think that the coaching staff of the Warriors are in the best position to ascertain that, because they see what Lindy Waters does. And it's like the Warriors traded for Lindy Waters, and then nobody talked about him until the preseason, right? Nobody talked about him. There wasn't any hoopla or anything like that. I think that the Warriors, it's almost like they were hiding him. And good, big ups to the Warriors for doing that. I think that Lindy Waters can be so dangerous as a 3-and-D player, because he's such a good three-point shooter. This is going to be sacrilege to a lot of us, right? I actually hope that Lindy Waters watches a little bit. I know, knock on wood, Warriors, we don't love this. I think it might behoove him to watch a little bit of Danny Green footage and video and tape. If Lindy Waters can turn into 3/4 of what Danny Green was defensively with the way that he shoots, we're not talking about 6-man of the year, but we are talking about a contributing rotation player on a very good team. I think that I think that Waters can be a rotational player on like a very good team. Who's the dude on Sam Hauser or something like that on Boston? Kevin Herter for the Kings. Solid rotation pieces that can really shoot. Only difference, Lindy Waters can D up. He can play that defense, and I have confidence in that. Okay, I liked the Podziemski and Melton backcourt. I just really liked it defensively. That's all I have written down there for notes. I liked the Pods and Melton backcourt. I thought that they would be undersized. They don't seem to be undersized, so I can dig it. Speaking of DeAnthony Melton, hey, real quick, off the top of your head, what did DeAnthony Melton shoot? What did he shoot for tonight? Here's a quick answer. Doesn't matter. Here's the long answer. He was 2 for 11, but the longest answer is DeAnthony Melton shot 2 for 11, and also it doesn't matter because of how much of a dog that man is. Couple highlights. DeAnthony Melton he skied for a rebound over Jalen Duren, and it actually looked like when Stephen Curry did it over Dwight Howard in the playoffs against the Rockets, maybe that was 9 years ago or so, 9 seasons ago. That's what it reminded me of. He has the ability to play bigger than his size because the dude has a 7-foot freaking 3 wingspan. Stop the tape. Melton needs to be locked away. Get him. That's insane. That's insane. Okay, first was his rebound over Jalen Duren, His second big play, or the play that was like that real eye-popping play, to me, was his rebound and pass to Trayce Jackson-Davis for a layup. He had an offensive rebound tip pass, so he gets the offensive rebound and also gets the tip and gets the assist to TJD, and that was just like, number one, that makes me think that Melton's back problems are sort of hopefully a thing of the past, knock on wood, right? But also, it's just, he's one of those, I get it now, he's a baller. He's just a pure baller, one of those players who you want on your squad, and DeAnthony Melton's squad, I don't even know his record as a pro. I can guarantee you, though, that he has more wins than losses. I just think so. Watch me be really wrong and he was on like some epically bad teams. I just don't think so. I think that DeAnthony Melton plays on winning teams because he's a winning basketball player, right? There's a correlation with that. Let's move on. Trayce Jackson-Davis, 10 rebounds, only 2 fouls in like 27 minutes. Amazing. Amazing. He does look a little bit taller, by the way. Like, it's a little bit taller. I'm not even gonna lie. He looks a little bit taller. You think we're like that bit. Didn't look too small at all against Jalen Duren, and that's what we like to see. What we like to see even more than that, even more than just his size and the eye test against, is how he plays, right? One of my biggest criticisms of the Warriors was rim defense, rim protection. When other players drive in on the Warriors, who's going to block the shot? Draymond Green, good at that, but who's going to really protect the rim? Who has the size to do it? In the first half, Trayce Jackson-Davis had 1 foul and 3 blocked shots. 3 blocked shots. He's defending and blocking shots and rim protecting without fouling. So, thank you, Trayce Jackson-Davis, for not only stepping up, but he's soothing my fears a little bit, okay? But that's going to continue. Remember that, but the fears, yeah, a little assuaged, to soothe. Good on TJD for doing that. Hey, moving on, though. Move on real quick. Let's see what we got. Okay, a little bit of the bad, a little bit of what we don't love. The Warriors still committed too many turnovers. This is going to sound crazy, but it isn't. A goal for the Warriors should commit only or fewer than 10 turnovers per game. You want to be in the single digits for turnovers per game, you're going to win. You're going to win consistently. You're going to be in the playoffs, probably not the play-in, if you can do that. The Warriors committed 20 turnovers this game. They need to cut that in half. I'm not even kidding. The Pistons, who aren't even like super organized, only committed 15. That's not good enough for the Warriors. That's not good enough. We all know it. We all know it. what I love. Okay, let's talk about just the Warriors after 4 games. Warriors after 4 games. What do I love? Number one, vibes. This team is, I'll say it once and I'll say it again, right? I've said it once and I'll say it again. This is a team that you can definitely get behind. Why? Because they defend and they rebound. And we love that at C-Train Station. But also, so they're defending at a high level, they're rebounding, they're shooting the ball incredibly well. And here's the good news about that. It looks like the Warriors are shooting well from the beyond the arc because of great floor spacing, good passes, and good high-quality shots. Those things are all repeatable, okay? If I were saying the Warriors are shooting good because Stephen Curry is going off with all these individual performances, Stephen Curry he goes nuclear and then he comes down to still God tier status and stuff like that. But for repeatable success, we want the whole squad to be into it, right? And so many players are hitting threes and shooting good shots on the Warriors that it is just like, wow, it is a sight to behold, and it's great basketball. It's basketball that I think can be repeatable, especially, I'll say that one more time. These shots, these great shots are predicated from really good passes and great spacing. You have to give it up to the Warriors for this. They're vibing, and you can tell. It's awesome. It's awesome. Another thing that I love about this team is the insane depth. I'll talk about the depth a little bit later. Wow, I said depth and I get a little bit of goosebumps because this is one of the deepest Warriors squads I have seen in a long time. However, they're definitely more deep. To me, they're more like we believe deep, right? To where there were like 2 head honchos more or less in Baron Davis and Steven Jackson. Can we say that a little bit, right? In terms of like the alpha personalities, we can say that Steph and Draymond have that. Then everybody filled in, right? Like J-Rich with the athleticism and the defense. We got that in Wiggs. We got that. But it's just to another level because the Warriors are actually a dynasty now. They're like not just no offense to the We Believe team. I believed in them, but like they got into the playoffs in like the second round against the Jazz. That's it. These Warriors are championship quality dynastic Warriors right here. We're talking about legends in Draymond Green and Stephen Curry. So, I hope that the depth translates positively in this roster. Like, I really hope so. I really hope that we're going to be a great team comprised of good to great players and not a good team. Oh, listen to this real quick. I hope the Warriors are a great team comprised of good to really great players instead of a good team comprised of good to great players. It's like, how will the Warriors' worst player on the court fill in the margins? And I think that the Warriors are so deep that they can consistently put out positive and productive and quality basketball regardless of who is out there. So, to be determined is, this is not going negative, but realistically, to be determined is how this roster translates to the regular season. Other teams are going to really tighten their roster. They're going to just whittle it down. Like a lot of teams, even in the regular season, cut it to like a 10-man rotation, like a 9, 10, 11-man rotation. The Warriors legitimately have 15 players. 15 players, absolutely. And that is, in a way, that's like unfortunate because the Warriors are going to have to make cuts on their squad and they are going to, this is a thing that's tough for me to take. So this is just a predict. I believe the Warriors are going to essentially let go, release with no return whatsoever. Players of quality talent, listen to this, and also players who they could have gotten a return on if they really wanted to make a trade and consolidate a couple players. This is a real quick one. I'll give this example. An example would be to consolidate Looney and GP2 because because the Warriors have so much depth for Kelly Olynyk, because Kelly Olynyk is 6'10" plus. He's a big man who can just absolutely, he can rebound, pass, and really stroke it from outside. He's got an awesome outside shot. So he just crazily stretches the floor. Like a better Bielica, I believe. I don't think that they're going to do that. Instead, I could see the Warriors losing a player like Spencer G. Santos, like one of those players who could, like, I think that Santos, I think that he can be a rotation player in the future. And I think that the Warriors may lose him for nothing. I think that the Warriors may lose a player like Pat Spencer, who I actually think can play. Like, I think that he can compete as well. I think that they're going to end up losing him. They're going to keep a guy like Post on the two-way and do all that good stuff. But then I think that there's going to be I'm just looking at the numbers, right? Statistically, they're going to be not only odd men out of the rotation, but my greatest fear is odd men out of the roster, right? I can take the Warriors having talent that's just sort of sitting there on the roster because at least they have that in-house. They at least have access to that. It stinks when you lose them for nothing. And two examples that come to mind, Lester Quinones, man. I think that Lester Quinones can ball a little bit. I think that he has a future as a rotation player in the NBA. So him. And this is one from long ago. How about this? Chris Boucher. That's random, right? But that's just a testament to Chris Boucher's like made a career for himself with the Toronto Raptors. Did he beat the Warriors? Does he have a championship over the Warriors? Well, 2019? He may. He may have been on that squad for so long because he's made... And so, like, it stinks that the Warriors may not even get a future draft pick return for something that they're just giving up. And that's something that stinks. But the Warriors seem very comfortable doing that. They let CP3 go for absolutely nothing. He's thriving on the Spurs, at least from preseason. And the Warriors legitimately seemed okay. They seemed great with that. So they're content with doing that. It just stinks because they could go a little bit further, and if trades weren't as hard for them, for nothing, they could like at least compile second-round draft picks or something. Honestly, that's okay. It happens, and we have to be okay with that. It would be worse if the Warriors didn't have an embarrassment of quality players, which they do. Here's the great news. You want to hear some more great news? All of this, I've said this, all this, right? I've talked about this whole roster. We haven't even seen Andrew Wiggins yet, which is actually even more of a testament to what I was just talking about. All of these wing players, Moses Moody, Lindy Waters, Jonathan Kuminga, Kyle Anderson, and we haven't even seen two-way Wiggins, our all-star from 2 years ago, who's said to be great. That's an embarrassment of riches, and we love to see that as Warriors fans. What do they do with the embarrassment of riches, though? Will they cash in? Or do they let some of the riches just devalue and then just sort of lose them? That is an honest question. That's a valid question. And we're just being straight up right now. Okay, again, in closing, looking at some of my notes real quick as I reach across in my notepad. I got the teleprompter. No. Okay. Moving forward, I think that these Lakers games next week will show so much, and this is this is why. I don't even think Steph's going to play, right? I think that they should just save him. I hope that LeBron James and AD play because I really want to see the look. I want to see Jonathan Kuminga defend LeBron James without fouling, and also I want to see TJD defend AD without fouling. I think that I think the Warriors play the Lakers twice. The last two preseason games are only against the Lakers. I really hope that the Warriors get some good looks, that TJD and Kuminga get good looks against AD and LeBron James. And here's the only thing I want you to look for, Warriors fans. If they get scored on by AD and LeBron James, great. That's fine. What we don't want to see, we do not want to see quick fouls picked up by Kuminga and by TJD. One of the fears that I could see the Warriors having moving forward, that I have, is that Kuminga does explode because he's doing really well. He's playing amazing. But because he doesn't have tenure in the league, that a guy like LeBron James will just go at him twice in the first 2 minutes of any game and get him in foul trouble. 2 fouls immediately. Tweet. Now Kuminga's out of the game. You got to sub him out. He's done. Done for like the first half. I'm deathly afraid of that because he has a penchant for picking up those ticky-tack fouls, and it can't happen. You can't be a consistent player. You can't stay on the court consistently and foul, right? Okay. So that's it. Here's, again, so in conclusion, in wrapping it up, the Warriors have earned my benefit of the doubt. The Warriors, one more time. I have critiqued the Warriors all offseason, and this preseason, they have showed me nothing but good vibes, wins, amazing defense, better three-point shooting, and just everything and unselfishness, everything that I could ask for. The Warriors have earned, this squad has earned the benefit of the doubt until the record dictates otherwise. They have absolutely earned that. And I'll keep on going. I don't think the Warriors should do anything trade-wise until the trade deadline. Even if something pops up, even if somebody requests that, again, I don't think the Warriors should do anything until the trade deadline. I think the Warriors have such good pieces and that they're all playing such complementary, amazing basketball together that, number one, you don't want to break up those vibes and anything like that. But number two, none of these players have depreciated. And I believe that the preseason was solid enough for everyone, for all these players, that I believe that Kuminga, Moody, GP2, Looney, all of those players have retained or increased their value. And that's what we love to see. Stand pat, they're playing well, wait and see, and just let the Warriors' record dictate it, okay? Dictate if any moves need to be made. If we're feeling like the Warriors need to make a move and their record doesn't indicate it, don't make the move. I don't think so. Why? This team, again, has earned the benefit of the doubt. They're working hard. They're playing hard. We can dig it. So, 3 names to look out for, though. I will always do this. I'm always looking around the league, scouring the league for names. Names that I think would look great on the Warriors. One of them, this is the newest one. This is the new one. And everybody's going to be, oh no, C-Train, why? Jeremy Sochan. I believe that Jeremy Sochan of the San Antonio Spurs, and wait for this, because I'm correct with what I'm saying, and this is what I'm going to say. I believe that he has the potential of a better Boris Diaw. You all remember Boris Diaw? Didn't he make all-star teams? One of the best French players? I mean, the link to a lot of San Antonio Spurs teams as well. I believe that Jeremy Sochan has that much value. That is like a player able to play and defend 3, 4, and 5, an amazing willing passer, and can really connect. So if the Warrior, like Jeremy Sochan, if the Spurs want to do the Warriors a good one, he would look amazing in a Dubs uniform. I know he's got unorthodox shot and everything like that. Don't care. Don't care. It goes down. Doesn't matter. It won't be shooting the whole lot anyways with the Warriors. It'll be fine. So, second one, of course, is Giannis. That's why I'm saying wait. I think that the Warriors, well, I know the Warriors can be in position for a blockbuster come trade deadline. For sure, regardless of their record. They just have that much depth and talent. They have that much depth and talent that if you consolidate, somebody will be out there, and I think that there will be takers, especially with the draft picks that the Warriors have in the future. Third name, of course, Bam Adebayo. Rebounding, passing, defense, scoring, winning. Why do I think Bam Adebayo would be possible? Here's the thing, is that if Jimmy Butler is looking out and won't re-sign, and that triggers, and that it could trigger Miami making a move if they don't start out hot, and also Jimmy Butler is like, yeah, I'm not going to re-sign with these guys. maybe Miami is a seller at the deadline. And if so, the real fool's gold is Jimmy Butler. The real thing, Bam Adebayo. Anyways, but of course, give the Warriors the benefit of the doubt. None of this happens until the trade deadline. The Warriors are looking good. Hey, in the comment section, what are you most excited about this upcoming season? I want to know. Like, subscribe. Thanks for sticking in there, bearing with me. Hey, I thought this was a good one though. We talked a lot about, this is a good little, until the Warriors play again midweek, this is a good little breakdown for Warriors fans. So until the next time, have a good one. C-Train out.